Bobcat fans, it's time for another Bobcat Coach's Corner. It's the first one of the fall with head tennis coach Steve Barsby. Steve, thanks for joining us for the big show here today.
Not a problem. Enjoy it. Love it.
Now, I said a little bit earlier that the one with me and Hope was probably the most attractive panel we were going to have today, and I thought you might have something to say otherwise. What do you think?
Well, I think Hope's got me a little bit.
Okay, all right. Well, that's up to the fans to decide. We'll see what Bobcat Nation says. But, of course, we got next weekend coming up, the start of the fall season, your non-championship season. But what does the fall season mean for you overall? Why do you play it, and what can you come out with?
You mostly play it to see just your new players. I pretty much know what the guys who are returning are going to do for us. You play it for, there's a lot of individual things. About 7, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, they took the individual portion out of the spring championship season. We used to have a team champion, then an individual tournament in the spring. So I guess to help out kids and to maybe make it like there was still an individual tournament, they moved it to the fall. So it's to see sort of individually what everyone has and leading into the spring.
And next weekend, you got the men's tennis fall championships that we host each year, and year in, year out, it seems to be some of the best competition in Division II tennis, and really just the entire Southeast that you pull into Milledgeville here. Yeah,
the fall tournament, especially being in the Peach Belt, where you're 8th in the Peach Belt and 20th in the country. If we can get some of those teams to come in, it ends up being a real good tournament. And then once again this year we have Lander coming in, Columbus State, Augusta State, ABAC, one of the top junior college programs in the country, and then we might have a couple smaller schools. But the field is usually real good, and a lot of good players, a lot of all-conference players in the Peach Belt, and usually 3 to 5 All-Americans in the field.
And that starts Friday, typically runs through to Sunday sometimes, right?
Runs into Sunday, especially if we end up with 8 to 10 teams in it, or we run into weather like the U.S. Open is right now. So, yeah, Sunday morning is usually the finals.
All right, so we'll get you out there at the Centennial Center tennis facility for the big men's fall championship, and then the rest of the fall season falls after that. We'll tell you some more about that later. But let's take a look at the men's team. A lot of returners. You're only losing, I believe, 2 guys and replacing them with some pretty good ones.
Yeah, we're losing Tobias Rausch, I guess as you say it, who played number 3 and 4 for us last year, did a very good job. And we lost Robert Angelucci, or Bobby as we call him. Did some real good things for us in doubles last year and came in singles when we needed them. Both those guys have moved on. But we replaced him with a guy named Kasper Kanyevs from Sweden, who I think is going to compete at one of the top spots in our lineup, and a sensational doubles player. Recruited him. I think he's going to do well for us. Transferred from UNLV, so he's played some big time D1 tennis. Just wasn't happy with, I guess, his whole environment out there. I guess Milledgeville's a little different than Vegas, but we'll see what happens with that. So, but no, I think the guys' team is going to be real solid to start.
And, of course, coming back, you got Jerome LeBourne, Johan Wadstein, some of the guys that have typically played in the top half for you in the last couple of years. Jerome's a great story, too, in that he's already finished his undergrad degree, right?
Jerome's a smart guy. Jerome's done well, transferred in some hours from back in France, graduated in 3 years, had a year of eligibility left. Wow. I asked him, I said, do you want to play your senior year? And he's like, yeah, sure. He's a pretty laid-back kind of guy. He's like, why not? So he's getting his master's, getting an MBA, and so he'll finish that next summer. But doing all that, being all conference in our conference, and with a 3.8, 3.9 GPA, whatever he has, is pretty impressive. And Johan's playing well. He played real high last year, and hopefully he can do the same. He's come back working real hard, so we'll see. Like I said, this fall will sort of flesh out to see if they've matured as players and competitors, to see how they do against the top guys around the country.
And like you said, that's what it's for.
Yeah.
All right, so what about the women's side? Let's flip to that side. We were losing Bertie Leon, who was, I believe, a 3-year starter for you.
Yeah, three and a half. Her freshman year was in and out of the lineup a little bit. So losing her is going to be tough. She was our only senior, played number 1 for us, was good, not just results-wise, but in the van, traveling to things, keeping the girls relaxed, letting them know sort of what it was about in our conference. Adding another transfer from Drury up in Missouri, Ivana Maravich. She's done real well. Played against us last year when we were down in Pensacola. Actually, Mae Johnson and her had a great match down in Pensacola. So, and they've already become friends, so it's neat. But no, I think the girls, and we added Leah Pridgeon, a kid from Atlanta. So I think we're going to be solid again. We're going to try to probably add one more player in January like we usually do. But I think on paper today, our women's team's a little better than we were last year already. So we'll see what happens.
And just like the men's team, there's going to be some pretty good battle for the top half of that lineup, and as far as who's going to be playing where, isn't there?
Yeah, May had a great year playing number 2 last year. Kay had a great year playing 3. May beat Ivana down in Pensacola, but it was real close. So
Sure.
We got 3 girls that I think are going to be the competing for the top. Lisa, who played real well at number, I guess, 5 last year. Her and Michelle at the bottom are going to be, and Lisa's got potential to sneak up into the top 2, 3 maybe.
No, she was a winner at that
Oh
spot.
yeah, Lisa can play. Lisa can play. Lisa had some shoulder issues. Had a great record serving underhand the whole year. So, if she ever gets to serve like a normal serve, it'll be interesting to see how good she can do.
Sure.
But no, I think there's going to be some real good battles within the team, and Leah looks like she's playing well so far too.
Outstanding. Okay. Well, to talk a little bit about coaching tennis in general, it's a unique sport in that you have that individual aspect when you get into the championship season, but each win counts for a team point, and the victories are for teams in the spring. So how do you coach that element of trying to make sure that you do for you and also for the team as well?
You try to make everyone else important to the person, and we do that through conditioning when we're running the guys, and we really stress picking kids up and really outside of the tennis match, because once we start our match, they're by themselves pretty much. Like they can see the other kids playing, and me and Carlos are going around to individual courts, and they can sort of see the scores, but there's really no interaction between the players during a match. So we have to try to build that up throughout the week. So when they're on the court and it's 4-all, they're like, I can't let my teammates down. I can't let them down. And we talk about 5. That's all we talk about. We say, I don't care where the 5 wins come from. We need 5 wins. So someone go out and get one. And and they'll all joke around. I'm going to get it. No, I'm going to get it. So, but no, they do a good job. I think through our conditioning and the running and them picking each other up, they get to the point where they really want to play for each other. And it helps that you're in a van that they're pretty much sitting in each other's laps sometimes because they're cramped in with tennis gear and stuff. They know each other pretty well. So
Yep.
Some years that's a good thing. Some years that's a bad thing. But over the course of the few years I've been here and Dewar before me, I think the team has had a very good atmosphere amongst each other.
And of course, those victories normally come at the bottom half of the line. We talk about the competition you're going to have at the top half, but if you're good at that bottom half, then you're going to win a lot of matches, aren't you?
Yeah, and that's why last year we got to the point where I think our women's team outperformed their talent level because Michelle improved tremendously last year and got a lot of wins at the bottom. Everyone's got a good number 1.
That's Michelle Lingner.
Michelle Lingner. She played great last year. And everyone's got a good number 1, so we're going to win some matches there. We're going to lose some. We were spoiled for a few years there where we had Eric on the guys and Julia with the girls. You just rolled them out there and you knew they were going to win. But if you can get your 4, 5, and 6 to really win a bunch of matches, you're going to win. You're going to be ranked high and you're going to win a lot of matches. And that's, I think, been our success is we've had deep teams. The last few years we always haven't had the unbelievable 1 and 2. But we haven't dropped off much going down the line, so it's helped, getting wins at the bottom. Like Lisa and Michelle, I think, were our 2 highest winners last year, and then Kay at 3. So we're getting to the point where we're getting solid throughout the total lineup. But if you can get that 4, 5, and 6, that's big, and 3 doubles.
Oh yeah,
so,
and almost kind of build from the bottom up, so to speak. But okay, well, we wish you well, Coach, and good luck getting things started here in the fall. We hope you're able to flesh out that lineup, and again, get on out to the Centennial Center tennis facility. We got to come up with a better name for that. That's just too bulky.
Yeah.
See if we can get some sponsorship on that, maybe.
We'll try.
Okay.
We'll try.
Well, anyway, get out there to the Centennial Center tennis facility and check out Coach Barsby and the gang. Once again, this is the Bobcat Coach's Corner with Al Weston and Steve Barsby.